conversation will be about transforming Rome. Your chair is Pipo Serrano, and Pipo is the managing director of Planet Productions. If you've ever seen a Pipo Serrano conversation in the main auditorium at Smart City Expo World Congress, you will not have forgotten it. I'm looking forward to you leaning in to transforming Rome. Pipo Serrano, Mayor of Rome, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Femi. Thank you very much. Happy to see you again, one more year. Thank you very much. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I have to say that I'm very excited to be in this stage today with Rome Mayor Roberto Gualtieri, because you probably know many things about Mayor Gualtieri, but I have to say that there is something that I did not know, which is his humanistic side. He could be, let's say, a Renaissance man, which sounds especially interesting when talking about a city like Rome, I have to say. But he's, on one side, Associate Professor of Contemporary History, degree in Literature, Philosophy, and PhD in Economic History. And by the way, someone told me that he's a very good musician. I think Bossa Nova or something like that, which is...
it's well informed.
It's great. But on the other side, and you probably know that, he's former member of the European Parliament in charge of the Committee of Economic and Monetary Affairs, and former Italian Minister of Economy and Finance, which is a good combination. So that's why I was saying that it could be a Renaissance man. And since 2021, Mayor Gualtieri is relaunching Rome on an European and international stage and working on making, let's say, a more sustainable, a more inclusive, and essentially, and today we'll focus a lot on that, a very innovative city. That's why today we'd like to learn about his vision, about this city, Rome, an incredible city, and we'd love to know more about recent improvements, how you're managing with mobility, with the city, innovation, life, people, and everything. So thank you very much and welcome for being here. And the first thing I would love to ask you is, you've been 3 years leading the city of Rome. I don't know how you imagine you will live this city, and how is it going to be in 5 or 10 years after what you've been doing in these 3 years, which sounds like 10 years, because it's been a lot of work.
Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be here in Barcelona to this fantastic Congress and to present our innovation and digitalization policies, which are part of a broader transformation effort that we are undertaking. First, because our city was, let's say, lacking investment of modernization of its infrastructure for a lot of time. There was really an investment gap in the last years or 15 years, so we had a lot of time to recover. But also because now it's time where the city have to transform deeply to be protagonists of let's say, energy transition, of fight of climate change, mitigation, adaptation, and to innovation, and also to strongly reduce inequalities, which have widened in the last year. So we have undertaken a plan which we call Next Generation Rome, a 14 billion of investment in the area of sustainability, urban development, innovation and cohesion, which is a very, very unprecedented, let's say, plan in terms of magnitude, but also in terms of ambition of really not just bringing back, repairing broken infrastructure, but really changing how the city works, making services closer to citizens, making really green revolution with hundreds public parks, with 1 million of trees planted, and boosting public transport that was really not very in a very good shape, and so on. So we are trying to implement, and the fact we have the Jubilee coming and the next generation EU resources was a good, let's say, alignment of planets which give us the resources needed. But we decided also that beyond the physical infrastructure and social infrastructure and green infrastructure, we needed a very, very strong and modern digital infrastructure. So this is part of this. Rome currently, for who have been visiting the city in the last weeks, months, is a bit of an open-air construction sites, because there are kind of 5,000 construction sites, and everywhere you see works. And the digital construction side maybe are less visible, but are probably even more important. But we are trying to make the city ready for becoming a smart city, and not using the smart city as a formula to say in any speech, but that does not mean nothing, but really trying to do something which is coherent with the concept. And that requires a lot of work.
I have to say that I was talking with Mayor Gualtieri some minutes ago about the city, and he's clearly passionate about it, because he was saying, come on, 20 minutes. I'm not going to be able to explain all this. So I'll try to go right to the point, to some of the elements you said. You pointed out something that I was going to say. The Jubilee is like boosting whatever you wanted to do, and with all the investment allocated there, so that you will have an amazing city for this special event. But if we focus on innovation, you've been structuring the city in a very, let's say, smart way, which is basically what you've been doing, and you started by the infrastructure. Can you go a bit deeply on that? Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, we first of all, beyond doing what we are doing, and some of projects are really important, we are building a brand new public square, enormous public square in front of Castel Sant'Angelo, in front of St. Peter. So we are doing 6 parks along the Tevere, but I will not focus on this today. I want to really focus on the digital infrastructure and solutions. And the first thing, we did a public-private project, because we identified a market failure in terms of investment for covering the city really with last generation digital infrastructure for 5G. So with this project, we put public and private resources to use also our metro system and also light poles to become an area where we can host small cells and cover the whole city of 5G coverage. So in order that we will have a signal outdoor, which is quicker, faster, first, second, with reducing the latency time, which is fundamental if you want to have driverless car or last distance surgery. You cannot have the latency that you have currently with a mobile phone, and also to have let's say a density that when you have even 1 million people, they can even download or upload videos and so on. So and then you can build on top of this infrastructure that will mean that all the metro squares and the outdoor of the city will be gradually covered by the really 5G, with the complementing role of small cells and big cells. But then on top of that, we will put 1,500 IoT sensors and 2,000 additional ID cameras that on top of the other when we have. So in order that we can use this network, first for the citizen, for have more line, better quality line, but also for having a very deeper monitoring of the city, which is the basis for implementing solution. Then, of course, the market, the people will invent solution that can be used. Digital infrastructure will be neutral, of course, open to everybody, and so is a disposal to everybody, the administration, the citizen, but also the business community, because, of course, it's also a competitive factor.
So first step is the motorways. You created the motorways, let's say, so that you can drive all the sensors, all the smartness, all the intelligence around the city. You made it agnostic, neutral, so that you can, let's say, evolve it at any point without having to be subjected to
Yeah, all the operator can use it.
Exact. But then after that, you need the services. And you've been going through some services. And I remember when you started your facing as a mayor of Rome, one of things they said, you're gonna focus and you're gonna face all the problems with waste.
Yeah.
And you've got something there. You've got the smart waste, apart from others. Can you just go on them?
No, that's was one of our application is a smart waste. There is smart mobility. There is smart security. I will elaborate on that quickly. But waste was clearly one of the biggest problem when I was elected mayor, due also for lack of investment. So we are doing all the plant now, waste to energy, biodigesters, all the recycling thing. But on the other hand, we are also re-engineering the waste collection and waste cleaning of the city. And in order to do so, we created a digital twin of Rome, and up to 2 million objects now are in this system. So we have a very granular description of the whole city. Each bin is there, each site, each vehicle of collection. And so we can monitor the situation, we can follow the whole waste cycle till also to the last destination of the waste. We can see the situation of our fleet. We can
You can test.
We can test also the reaction of citizens. So we have fortunately a declining trend of people calling, oh, here it's dirty, yes, dirty. So we can monitor the situation. But most of all, we are using also algorithm and digital intelligence to make a more planning of a more the highest possible level of cleaning of the city. So we identified, according to the inhabitants, demographic density, the events, the trees, the season, any element, how many times we have to pass to clean a street.
So in a way, you can kind of design a really smart, just based on the patterns, the places, the days of the week, when there is a touristic month or not.
Exactly. So we can program in advance, and we can monitor according to what's happening. And so we can optimize. So we will now, in December, we'll start also an operational way to use this tool. So in December, we will start adopting this new model. So any street have a different color. And this one you have to pass twice a day. Okay. This time once, twice a week. This time up to, because we have very different areas in Rome. We have the center, we have the consolidated area, we have the sea area, and we have an area where we have most of countryside, because Rome is very large and very lowly densely populated. So we have to also make a more tailor-made solution for every corner of us. And this digital twin, which is really amazing. The control room now, AMA was a very old-fashioned company, not very efficient, I have to say, and particularly inefficient. Now you enter in this control room, people with, you seem to be in a different world.
That's amazing.
And that's, of course, it's fundamental to optimize the use of resources, human resources, vehicles, tools, and to planning. So we give a lot of importance to this, but we have, of course, other layer of digital twin.
I was going to ask you, about the security, about the mobility. How do you manage with that?
Yeah, one of the advantage of course, of the 5G coverage is that now we can put a camera without having to do a dig and to attach a cable. Because you can have a new generation camera just with a 5G, so we can place far more cameras, and that are important for various degree of monitoring the traffic, but also the security, and that's so we are with Leonardo applying another system of algorithm in order to identify not only ex post critical situation. So because currently the cameras are using only when there is a crime and the police come and the judge and they go backward, and so we catch the guy. And because nobody can watch in the same time at 210,000 cameras, of course. So with this system, of course, you can, with all the privacy requirements, really without identifying people, but just from the movement, you can move to where there is a human. If there is a situation which is critical, then it goes to where the guy stays, and then he decides the most appropriate action according to what is really there. Of course, you always pass to a man. You don't just outsource to computer this, but you need to select and to be more granular. So this is a very important tool. And another very important is on mobility, of course. Yeah. We are working still in terms of monitoring the situation, all the buses, all the cars, but also in terms of, let's say, a mobility as a service approach, which is interoperability, which is in a city like Rome fundamental, because Rome is so large that we will never have the same coverage of metro system that you have in Paris, in London. You need to have more interoperability. The last mile, the first mile, before you arrive to the metro, to the train. And so you need to be able to, with one click, to plan a tour, but also to maybe issue one single ticket, even if there are different operators, public, private, sharing, a bus, a taxi, a scooter, whatever. Yeah. So this MAS will allow anybody to have its own customized route, but also to have a single point of entry, and maybe also to have policy incentivizing less carbon, more carbon neutral itineraries, and maybe make, if you want to favor, and with tariff policy, you can, let's say, nudge a bit and let's say, push for more sustainable ways of transport.
Okay, and that's part of the intelligence. There's another part of intelligence that I read, and you explained it many times, that you wanted to work for the locals but also for equality tourism. And you've got a secret, let's say a secret agent, virtual agent, that we've been playing a bit because the mayor has it on his phone, which is called Julia. And I don't know how he did it to convince Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, because he's like the first city in the world who's having an AI assistant for everyone there. Can you give us a flavor on Julia? We wanted to provoke Julia. I have to say that we asked Julia on the mayor phone if he was a good or bad mayor. And Julia said, I cannot pronounce on that. If you want to know anything about him, I'm going to tell you. But I can't. So it sounds fair and...
Yeah. She replied very well to a lot of questions, but not this one.
She's
this
from
one,
Rome, Milan, Rome. She's...
Yeah. She said that no, she cannot comment on. But I'm sorry, I cannot express personal opinion. I can give you information on Mayor Gualtieri. If you have specific question about his administration, I will glad to help you, but not about it. But she gave us a lot of answer about where to find carbonara, pasta,
good carbonara,
or Caravaggio paintings. No, this was a project we have been working for more than 2 years. So even before ChatGPT was released, it's based on ChatGPT technology supported by Microsoft and other partners. And is the first, let's say, is a virtual assistant. It's a chat box that can understand both orally and written 62 languages and can reply to your questions. And the information she has are all certified, so she cannot go crazy like sometimes.
Yeah, we're saying that AI is
hallucinating is no, exactly. No, hopefully, let's see. I mean, we have to release, but the fact that information are certified, so the area is more limited. If you ask political things, they should say no, it's not my business. But if you want to know how to use 1 hour, and if you like Middle Age archaeology, or if you like Renaissance painting, so whatever your taste, because our idea was not to use the power of artificial intelligence, but also to a bit free the tourists or the guests or even the Roman by the current digital channels, which now intermediate 99%, I would say, of all the information, so decision of tourists, because all the digital media currently used are driven by ads or are clickbait. So they are basically a booster of over-tourism, because they send all the people in the same place, and you maybe they not recommend you to the worst pizza, but this is close to Fontana di Trevi, or they are kind of why we wanted to have someone or something. Let's see how we can define it, that interact with you, understand what you want, and try not to tell you what you want and not what they want they want you to go. And so, that's the difference, of course. And so this Julia will be released by the end of December.
Okay.
So, and our hope is that will really become a really new concept of tool, not just for tourists or for guests, as we would like to call them, but for all the citizens we are in Rome that could count on someone that could suggest itinerary, best way, give practical information, or collect what, of course, we do not choose which is the best restaurant, but she can tell you according to the most prominent guides where is, let's say, the average ranking. So, or suggest according to what you really want. If you want sushi, if you want carbonara.
But just to understand, will I be able to take a picture and say, what's this? Give me some flavor about this or whatever? I will be able to take a picture and say, explain me something about this statue?
No, that's not as this tool is mediated by language.
Okay.
We will. So that's a possibility to develop. These are other apps that, but we will probably work on that. But currently is oral. You have to speak.
Okay.
You can. I tried. I asked them where very also difficult question where I can see the various layer of restoration of Adrian walls in Rome, and she knew exactly. If you go there, you see this was done in the 5th century. If you go there, this brick was done, but I asked her.
Okay.
It's not.
Okay.
The picture is okay.
It will come. It will come. It's not that hard.
For the next release.
We've got 1 minute left, Mayor, and I was going to ask you how do you do it, because everyone used to say that Rome was ungovernable, and you demonstrated, you proved that it's not. So I don't know which is the recipe. Maybe
Let's
you
make
have
the
it.
citizen choose at the end of the mandate.
But let me ask you something that I presume it's really important. Recently, some time ago, the mayor of Barcelona went to Rome, and you agreed and you announced together a joint proposal to ask the European Commission for resources for social housing. Can you tell us a bit about that? I think that's really important.
I will really share very much this view of Mayor Jaume Collaboni of Barcelona about the need of really making a step up of policies on affordable housing, which is not just the social housing, but also now we have a problem for worker, for middle class. So we have various clusters of crisis, both the most poorest part of population, but also a very broad range. And so we need the EU to, and we are very happy that now we have a commissioner which actually right now is doing is hearing, and that's why we issued a common declaration, me and the Mayor of Barcelona, encouraging European Commission to develop a specific affordable housing program and projects with dedicated financing, and especially to interact directly with mayors and big cities. So we are trying with Mayor of Barcelona to build up a kind of coalition of big cities which have very similar problems, and try to enter into the direct dialogue with the European Union and its bodies in order to have direct support for this kind of policies. And housing is really an emergency, especially if I don't want to be in the condition of having to choose between tourism and affordable housing. We want a strong, robust tourist industry, but on the other hand, we don't want that this over-tourism kills the affordable housing. So we need more houses, more financial support. We need a number of tools, regulatory, financial, political, administrative tools to put at the center of the EU agenda affordable housing policies.
Mayor Gualtieri, it's a pleasure, but we ran out of time. Thank you very much for joining us today and sharing your thoughts and what you're doing with Rome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Go over there.
Mayor Gualtieri,
Thank
Pipo
you, Fanny.
Serrano,
See you now.
thank you.